Welcome to the Career Boardroom podcast. And if you're here, I'm guessing you want more from your career than you're currently getting. Most career advice tells you to work harder, be patient, and wait your turn. This show exists because that advice is broken. Hi, my name is Craig Sr., former COO of an 8-figure business and founder of the Career Boardroom, and someone who went from a lifeguard to the C-suite by the age of 31. Not through luck, not through grinding harder than anyone else, but through learning how careers actually work and then building a system around that. This podcast is for the employed professional who knows that they're worth more than they're currently being paid. The high performer who's doing everything right and still not moving. The person who's ready to stop waiting and start engineering their career. Every episode, I'm sharing the frameworks, the strategies, and the real stories from people who've applied this method and moved fast. The podcast is no fluff, it's not motivational without method, but it's just the stuff that actually works. So welcome to the Career Boardroom podcast. Let's get into today's topic. The most talented people I've worked with in my career, and I'll be honest, I've worked with a lot, they were consistently underpaid, consistently overlooked, consistently passed over for people who were, honestly, less capable than them. And for a long time, I really struggled to work out why. It wasn't laziness. It definitely wasn't a lack of ability. These people were switched on. They were really hard-working professionals doing everything they've been told to. Work hard, show up, deliver results. And yet I kept seeing that this wasn't moving the needle for them. And I won't lie, it bothered me. For years, it bothered me big time. And I eventually figured out why it was happening. And to be honest, this is why I built the Career Boardroom. Back in the day, nothing like this existed. I needed the Career Boardroom for me in my career. So that is why it exists now for you. I started out my career as a lifeguard. Literally, my role was to watch over people in the water, and if they needed assistance, then I was there to help. And I remember sitting pool deck one day thinking, Craig, I want more than this from my career. I didn't know what I wanted yet, but I wanted more. At the time, I was at university, and then I graduated as the first person in my family to get a university degree. I then thought, wow, okay, this is great. I was starting to move into the corporate world. I wanted more and more and more. So I did what anyone else does, and I got higher education again. I went and did my MBA at the age of 24. And I remember after that going, cool, I've done the hard yards. Now things move for me. But they didn't. I spent the next 7 years working in the public service with great mentors, working in a multi-billion-dollar organization, gaining some really great experience. I learned so much in my time there. But the one thing that wasn't changing or moving was my income. I was sitting in middle management, at times managing up to 70 staff, but I was earning somewhere between 80 to 90 to 100K. Knowing the work that I was doing was worth way more. I was being told so. And I had no idea why that gap existed or then where to start to close it. In my career, I wasn't drifting. I wasn't disengaged. I just didn't have the strategy. No one had ever shown me how careers actually worked. No one had explained the game to me. I was playing hard, really hard. I just didn't know I was playing the wrong game. And then something shifted. I started paying attention to people around me who were moving fast, getting promoted. And I noticed that it wasn't necessarily the hardest workers in the room. It wasn't always the most technically skilled person, but it was the ones who understood positioning, the ones who knew how to make their value more visible, who had the right people in their corner, who knew how to have the right conversations at the right time. I had a mentor throughout this period, someone I invested real hard-earned money in to spend time with, who said something to me that changed everything. And she reframed exactly how I saw my career. She said this one clear line to me: this is your career. You are the product. You are your brand. You need to stop waiting for people to notice you and start making it impossible for them to ignore you. And for me, that was the light bulb, the shift, and everything after that changed. I got really intentional about what I was doing and why. I built a plan around where I wanted to go. I upgraded how I showed up. I built relationships that opened doors. And within a few years, I was working in executive and C-suite roles, earning 6 figures plus and doing work that I was super proud of. And I kept applying that same system again and again and again every time I wanted to move forward in my career. But here's the problem. Most career advice out there tells you work hard, be patient, update your CV, network more, fix your LinkedIn, wait for your annual performance review. That's not strategy. That's just hope with extra steps. The advice around careers hasn't kept pace with how they actually work. Because the professionals that are winning right now aren't just the working hard ones. They're positioning themselves strategically. They're building visibility. They're creating opportunities instead of waiting for them to happen. Hard work is respected, but strategy is paid. And the gap between these two things is exactly what the Career Boardroom is built to close. I kept seeing the same patterns over and over, where there were so many talented people stuck below their worth. High performers who were invisible to people making decisions and paying the bills. Smart professionals who were avoiding the salary conversation because no one had ever taught them how to have it. Now, I, for me, had solved that problem. And I'd helped some people close to me solve it too. And that's when the light bulb for me kicked in, going, this needs to exist properly. I didn't have it, but there are people out there who need it. And it's a system. I created something accessible that's really structured and has super support behind it. And that is why the Career Boardroom exists today. The Career Boardroom is built on 4 key pillars. Firstly is the career ladder, which is all about getting clear on your vision, then your next big win, and then your 90-day sprint to get that pay rise. Product and branding is number 2, which is becoming the person who deserves and commands more. Connections, about building your board and your tribe that accelerates everything in your career. And then lastly, money and income, about repositioning your value, raising your floor, and pulling the levers that most professionals don't even know exist. And together, these 4 pillars are the system that gets employed professionals fast, long-term, big pay rises really quickly within 90 days. It doesn't just happen someday. It's not a wait and see thing. It's not eventually down the line. It's in 90 days. So I want to be really specific about who this is for, because not everyone needs what I'm going to share with them here. And I'd rather be really honest and upfront about that. This is for the employed professional, the person who's already in the game, got a good job, maybe got some decent income behind them, and knows there's a gap between where they are and what they're actually worth. We know the cost of living is increasing, but pay and salaries aren't keeping up with demand. So how do you get more? It's for the person who has been passed over, for the promotion or a pay rise that they know they deserve. The one who found out about a colleague who has less experience and skill than them, who's earning more money. The one who's been in the same role for months, maybe years, and starting to wonder if the next 5, 10, 20 years are going to look the same, if you're going to live a photocopier life over and over and over, not earning any more money. And now I really want to make it clear that you're not underpaid because you lack talent. You're underpaid because you're playing the wrong game. And that's what this is all about. It's about learning the right one and how to play that game. So every episode of the Career Boardroom, I'm going to share the frameworks, the strategies, and stories from people who've applied this exact method and moved very, very fast in their career. There's no fluff, it's not hypey, and it's just stuff that's going to help you move forward in your career. So if you're serious about earning more, about being more, and about building a career that actually is aligned with your values and your lifestyle, you are in the right place. My name's Craig, founder of the Career Boardroom, and I built this because I genuinely believe that most professionals are leaving significant amounts of money and opportunity on the table. And it's not because they're not good enough, but it's because no one ever showed them how the game actually works. And this is me sharing my years and years of experience helping others and myself to fix that. So, if you enjoyed today's episode and want to learn more, go and find out in the show link, go and find out in the show notes the link to my information. And if you do want to go deeper, come and join me in the Launchpad, which is my free community where I share the tools and frameworks and the strategies that are helping people every day in their career. And if you want to move really, really fast and you know that this is something that you need to do, then I'll encourage you to book a 60-minute free game plan call with me, where we'll go through your exact situation where you are right now and build out your 90-day plan together. The link for that is also in the show notes. So thanks for listening today. And until next time, it's time to play the game properly.